am the geneticist, and the goal of our consultation is to try to understand if the two problems you have, a hearing problem and a delayed puberty, are linked together and are due to a genetic cause. So we will first take some medical elements from you, do a family medical history, and a physical examination. So let's start with the family history.
So I'm going to ask you a few questions about your family. You have brothers and sisters?
Yes, I have one brother.
Okay. And your brother, he has hearing problems also, or
No,
something
he's okay.
specific? Okay. And your mother, on the mother's side, you have any hearing problems that you're aware of? No? Your mother, she has brothers and sisters also?
Yes.
How many brothers and sisters?
She has 2 sisters.
Okay. And in the family, do you have the idea that there are some specific health problem?
No,
Parents,
I don't think
grandparents? And on the father's side, does your father has a brothers or sister?
No, he doesn't.
Okay. So I will just give you a few explanations about genetics. Probably it's things that you've been studying in school, but it's important for us to give you a reminder of this. The fact that the human body is made of billions of cells, and then in each cell you have the nucleus. In the nucleus you have the chromosome, and on the chromosome you will find the different genes. We have 20,000 genes, and it's all the information contained in our cells that makes our body work. Going back to the chromosome, you know probably that we have 46 chromosomes, and we have in pair one chromosome inherited from the mother and one from the father, and also the sex chromosome different from men and women. An important information is that we are going to discuss about a genetic analysis, meaning that we are going sort of enter in the chromosome, in specific chromosome, read it and try to find if there is a mistake in one of the chromosome in the book. We can compare it to books, and do one of the book has a mistake, a typewriting error or not. And we know also that some people will carry those mutation or error, and this can be transmitted. This can be inherited, meaning that the person can transmit it or has received it from his parents. We have two principal mode of inheritance. It is what we call autosomal dominant. It's when one of the parent has a mutation in one gene, and this mutation has been or can be transmitted at 50% risk, and it's not linked to sex. It can be a man that transmits to a woman or the contrary. And in those situations, you have 50% risk to have the mutation. The main other mode of transmission is what we call autosomal recessive. There you have a mutation. Both parents have the mutation, the mother and the father, and the child is affected at 20%, 25% risk, and also child can be a carrier. These are the basic information. I will just let my colleague explain you exactly what kind of analysis we can propose you. We will discuss in your situation.
So one of the challenges we have in hearing loss, in the diagnosis of hearing loss, is the genetic heterogeneity. That means that many different genes can be responsible for this problem, okay? In your case, you also have the delayed puberty, so that may help us in choosing the genes that we'll analyze. Fortunately, we have a new technique that it's called next generation sequencing, and that allows us to look for different genes at the same time, okay? So, as my colleague explained, we will do a blood sample and you will look inside the genes to see if we can identify the cause, okay? There are different types of results that we can obtain. We can discover immediately a clear variant that we know that it's the cause of both problems, okay? But we can also have a variant that we don't know the clinical significance. That's what we call variant of unknown significance, okay? This type of variants will need a follow-up from our part. So we'll need to see each other again so we can see if we can reclassify the variant, okay? The last result that we can have, it's a negative result. That doesn't mean that your problem is not genetic, okay? As all the other techniques, there are some limitations, and sometimes there's a variant that we couldn't identify, that it's not in the genes that we analyze. So we also have to see each other again so we can update the analysis, the genes, and rediscuss about the results, okay? Yeah. So now we will go to do the physical examination, okay? You can sit here. Perfect. So for physical examination in medical genetics, it's important to observe, measure, and also register by photographs. We'll start by taking the height. You can come here to measure your height, take the weight. Perfect. Okay, you can sit again. We should measure the head circumference. And then in the case of hearing loss, we should look carefully for some specific characteristics to help us in the differential diagnosis. So we start by the form of the ears. We see if there's any malformation, if there's some pits or tags on both sides. Then we look for the eyes. We search for heterochromia, difference in the color of the eyes, and we also measure the distance, the outer canthal distance, intercanthal distance, and interpupillary distance to search for dystopia canthorum. We look for the oral cavity to see if there's some cleft or any other abnormality. And then we complete with the observation of the neck to see if there's some bronchial cysts or goiter. It's okay. You can listen to the heart to see if there's some rhythm, problems with the rhythm. We search for anomalies of the pigmentation on the skin and also on the hair. Then we look for the hands, to see if there's any malformation, and also the feet. We can complete our examination by asking for a CT scan of the temporal bone, an ophthalmological examination, thyroid function tests, and we can also ask for a renal ultrasound to help us in the differential diagnosis of hearing loss.